Hello and welcome to another update video. Today we want to talk about futures contracts for sugar. I want to experiment a little bit with other asset classes on this channel, not only focus on gold, silver, oil, gas, and maybe the Nasdaq and the S&P 500, but also to look at what is really interesting for the community. So today let's take a look at sugar. Bit of a interesting chart here with quite a long chart history for us to analyze. I've got on this chart the following Elliott wave count. We obviously take a look at it from an Elliott wave point of view. And on this chart, what we can see is that back, and that's here really the 1970s, but just want to show you this for understanding the larger pattern in which we most likely are, that here we created a wave 1 to the upside, we came down in a wave 2. That would indicate, and that was back in 1984, 1985, where we bottomed in this wave 2 around $4, $5. And since then, based on this analysis, we have been in a wave 3. This would obviously be quite bullish, but very long term. Target, by the way, for this wave 3, but this will take a long time to play out. Target would be around $100. Okay, it could be higher, of course, but that would be the target for the wave 3. The 1.618 Fibonacci extension. So this is sort of the, let me see, this is really the long-term view. And if I zoom out, or let me go to the monthly chart, this would be target for this wave 3. I haven't got them all at the right price levels now. But obviously what you get from a, if you really look at this long term, we had here wave 1, here wave 2. This would only be the target for the wave 3 that I just gave you, around $100. I actually need to shift them all down a little bit. Then there will be a 4 and a 5. So long term bullish, but still we haven't really had, it's not a super exciting chart. So we haven't really got a lot of crazy movement on this chart. Not really a lot of impulses, but still maybe something for diversification. From this wave 2 low, we moved and it took from 1985 all the way to 2011. My view and interpretation is that we created in this time a 5-wave pattern, a so-called leading diagonal in the yellow wave 1 of the higher wave degree, here wave 3. So that this was the first wave of the white third wave of the higher degree. So that we moved up in 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a leading diagonal where you can have an overlap between waves 1 and 4. And that formed a wave 1. And that we then broke to the downside in an A, B, C pattern in a wave 2 that bottomed together with many other asset classes in March 2020. That is where a lot of assets started to correlate actually. So and now it's going to get interesting because we go from the monthly chart maybe to the 4-day chart. And it shows you here March 2020 where we bottomed here in a wave 2. Assumption currently would be that yes, indeed, we bottomed in wave 2, it was at $9. Since then, the price has basically doubled. This invalidation point, the invalidation point is obviously at $9. So if we break $9, it means we've got a more complex correction going on and we will come down a little bit lower. Should this happen, I mean, we are far away from that, but should this really happen, then we can also look at, let me zoom out and we take a look at what is an alternative target. We go from the low here, we'll take a look at the Fibonacci retracements. You can see that we actually bounced off the 78.6% Fib level. That's an ideal level for the wave 2. Should we lose the, let's say, $9 to $10 level, then we could still come down and find support at 654. But let's at the moment assume this is holding. That would basically be the alternative wave 2 scenario. Okay, so let's say we bottomed here, then we moved up in a 5-wave structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and peaked here in April or March 2022. Now we have started, in my view a wave 2 correction. And this wave 2 correction should end somewhere in the region. And again, we can, for that purpose, we can take the fib levels. That's why I've got the target area there. Target area is between 1156, that's the 78.6% retracement level, and the 50% retracement at 1487. Somewhere here I would expect this wave 2 to finish. That is the area where anybody who wants to trade this long could enter. I'm not telling you to do it, not telling you that you should, but based on Elliott wave, a 1-2 setup is a very interesting trade setup, because from here the price should turn around and move up in a third wave. And I can give you a broad or rough target for the third wave. Now again, that could take many months to play out until we get into that wave 2 area. But a target for the third wave here in orange would be around $30.36. Minimum target, yeah? The 1.618 extension. So how far are we away from getting there? So if I go to the 4-hour chart now, you can actually see that this wave 2 subdivides into an A, B, C structure. A and B are most likely already done. So I go to the 1-hour chart now, and this is at the moment my best interpretation of the price action. A and B are done, and we could really be in this C wave at the moment. The C wave is a 5-wave move. My interpretation is that we are still in the first wave. When we get the wave 2, that could be a short signal, yeah? So doing the wave 1 down, going up in a wave 2, reaching resistance somewhere. I can't give you a target yet because the wave 1 is obviously not finished yet. So the wave 2, end of wave 2 or beginning of wave 3 is a nice short signal. So that would be the longest short trade here of this movement, most likely, because the wave 3 is the strongest wave in a structure, normally. And then there should be a wave 4 up and a wave 5 down that gets us into the target area. Now if I go in here and zoom in, this is the interpretation that I have for that substructure of the wave 1. So that we have done, wave 1 is a 5-wave move. So my interpretation is we've done a wave 1, we've done a wave 2, we have done a wave 3, we've done a wave 4, and we are now coming down in wave 5. And wave 5 consists of ABC because this is considered a leading diagonal. Yeah, so even wave 1 has an ABC structure, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. So in this interpretation, we are now in the C wave of 1. Yeah, you can see how we're getting smaller and smaller. And in this C wave of 1, we see this would have to sit here. In this C wave, let me think, it would need to be like that. We have probably finished a wave 1 and a wave 2 now, and it would be an ideal time to turn around. Now this is obviously the micro counting here. This is subject to change. They do change quite frequently, those subwave counts, but it's designed to be a roadmap, to give an understanding of where are we, how do we see the market, how do I see the market. And I think we should go a little bit lower before we come up in wave 2 and then really get the breakdown there. Because this is a leading diagonal, the target for the wave 5 is a bit difficult. You know, fib levels in diagonal patterns are not very reliable, but the target for the 5th wave would be either $19, yeah, so the 5th wave of the first, or 1846. That would be for me a more likely target, 1846, because of the subdivisions here that still need to play out. So round about that area, we should find support for wave 1, and then move up in wave 2 before we come down further. And yeah, I mean, this would be sort of invalidated should we move above 2046. Then we probably have a little bit more upside before we come down, but we have a strong resistance area here, yeah. So if I just zoom out again to the daily, you can see that we will then have more resistance around the $24 level here, this peak. But yeah, at the moment I think we're at a turning point here, ready to head further down. Let's go to the 4-day chart. Just to get some indicators here, yeah. So you can see that the MACD on the 4-day chart already shows a slowing down of the bullish momentum. That would be a little bit in line with what I told you, that we will probably come down further. The 2-day chart also preparing here bearish crossover. Yeah, so that's going to get interesting. And a confirmation that we are heading down further would be a break of the previous swing low at $19. So yeah, that's my update about sugar. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.